Hello world and welcome to another Swagga Review. Today we're going to review a spoiler review of The Last Jedi. Okay, this is no holds barred. Just got back from seeing The Last Jedi. It's approximately midnight here and I really couldn't wait to get this review out. First and foremost, I'm glad to see Star Wars is back. I have mixed reviews about this movie. And actually just sat there at the end just looking at the screen, not able to figure out whether I liked the movie or I didn't like the movie. There were definitely moments where I cheered and I yelled and I was excited. There's parts of the movie that also took me out of it. At times, it didn't feel like a Star Wars movie. You have things where there's jokes, and Star Wars has always been funny. It's not slapstick funny or it goes on too long. So the moment in the beginning of the movie where Poe is trying to talk to General Hux, and is he on the phone? Is he not on the phone? That was funny, and it goes back to, do I talk first, do you not talk first, or whatever in The Force Awakens. But they just carry that gag on for so long. You get it that he's stalling, but it was just a little too much, and it took me kind of out of the movie. There are other bits and pieces where they just continue to hit the same themes over and over again. I really didn't like that. Other parts that took me out of the movie were they were riding those donkey-eared things through the city streets, and none of that felt like Star Wars. None of that felt even remotely like Star Wars. It didn't fit, and I understand Rian Johnson trying to expand the universe and give us different things, but it still needs to feel like Star Wars. A few of the things that I like. I like seeing Luke Skywalker actually having a personality. I have mixed reviews on where they were taking him, but I understand that for the story arc, even though I don't necessarily like the way that it all flowed together. Really disappointed that Rey doesn't have a story. And I'm less disappointed that Rey doesn't have a story about who her parents is or her lineage. It's more the fact that they continue to bring it up like there's going to be this big, okay, here it comes, and you're like, she's just some person. You can't lead us up to that. Same thing with Rey wants to see Finn and Finn wants to see Rey, and then you have the new character give Finn the most awkward kiss I've ever seen, and then you have Finn so happy to see Rey, but then Finn's taking care of Rose, and then Rey meets Poe Dameron, so it's not even a love triangle. And if you're going to replace Rey with Finn or Finn with Rose, it's not kind of the same level. I was a little confused about when Princess Leia, General Organa, was blown out to space. I was like, wow, they really did that, but you weren't really sure until they showed you with her out there, and then for her to kind of float back in but then be unconscious when she gets to the door, and she survived in space, but they didn't put like a little force field around her or something. She crystallized and skin did everything like you're supposed to do when you're exposed to atmosphere, but she kind of came back and it felt like the Matrix, the way the digital effects were in the floating in Neo, back in the 90s or whatever that was. That took me a little out of it, but then you're expanding canon, so I like that part. So I'm just a little bit torn. It was definitely a sweeping adventure. They cut back and forth to a lot of different scenes. The talking between Kylo Ren and Rey, just constant communication without a phone, that wore me out. And doing it once, okay, I can get with it. But again, they kept calling back and back. And it's supposed to symbolize, I'm guessing, how strong they are. You later find out that Snoke had a hand in that. But Luke wasn't doing that till the end when he did that. So it's like you built up this new thing with no other kind of premise other than in that movie, and that's fine. But it's like certain things got overused. Just like the relationship stuff, the trying to find out who Rey's parents are, then the teleporting virtual ICU, you can't see me, put some clothes on stuff. It was just it wasn't that it was too much, but it took you out of the movie and you didn't really know how to feel about it as you watch the next scene unfold. The time where Rey falls in the water and then she's in front of ice or something to see a reflection, and then you have this whole sequence of that, but literally nothing happens from it. It's just, why is this even here? And later on, find out, because it was all about finding out her parents, and she thought she was going to learn something going into this hole. It wasn't like when Luke was on Dagobah in Episode 5, and he saw himself in the mask of Vader and this and the other. It didn't have that same feel if they were going for that as an homage or something similar as part of the journey. I'm also concerned that the Imperial Guards that Snoke had and the fight scene with Rey and Kylo Ren, they held their own. It looked like their armor might shield them a little bit from some of the, non-direct lightsaber blasts. I couldn't really tell. I'd have to watch it again to really get the close-up, but they almost held their own with them, but they're supposed to be super powerful, and it just didn't seem to have balance. And then to make Snoke as powerful as he is, or was, really make it seem like, wow, we're about to get someone so strong with the Force and someone so whatever, and then he just got kind of hoodwinked, and that really killed him. And he didn't see it coming, and Kylo not turning, but turning on his master to rule the galaxy with Rey halfway through the movie, that was just, it was kind of weak. And I'm really, when I think about it like that, I'm just disappointed in that, because you saw how powerful Snoke was with the Force. Where did he come from? How did he get there? How did he take control? Why weren't we going to see more of that? Why weren't we going to see him do new things? And it's like, he's the only person that can do this stuff besides Luke. You take him out of the movie, you take Luke out of the movie, now there's no one to push the boundaries on the Force unless Rey and them figure it out. But how powerful is Rey if she's moving giant boulders when Luke struggled to move a few boulders after having some serious lessons? There's no way to gauge how strong they are or not. Luke says he's never seen the raw power before. Okay, get that, but apparently he's got a lot more, or did. Then you have Yoda show up. Didn't take me too far out of it. It felt good. You really had to remember the snide remarks of Yoda from Dagobah, which is different from the Yoda from the prequels as far as the continuity of his personality. So overall, I kind of liked him. I was really expecting Qui-Gon or something like that, but I was really happy to see Yoda. I really liked the creatures that were on the island that were the caretakers of the Jedi Academy kind of area. I liked what they did about Luke wasn't all good, how he was standing over Kylo, kind of forced his hand even though he was really already there and he could sense it. There are a lot of things like that I like. I'm disappointed in Admiral Holdo. You have Laura Dern, she's a great actress, and I don't feel she was used properly. Only that scene when her and Leia are talking and you can see that they have that lifelong friendship. You saw some real good acting there, and you saw something that made me think, oh, she is a person I really care for. And so when she sacrifices herself, it's kind of lukewarm. Now, I read Leia, so I know who she is, so I can fill in the gap and say, okay, there's got to be a lot of history because they're still friends, but it doesn't really pull on your heartstrings. In addition to that, once the escape pods or ships started getting blown up, it took several scenes before they said, turn the ship to block it or to get in the way or, take out Snoke's ship, which was massive, and that gravity was nice with the 3D glasses when the movie started or earlier on in the movie. However, you're like, okay, well, you're going to die anyways, Holdo, so go ahead and block the fire so they can't get to him, and use your shielding to protect them. Well, they didn't do that, and then later on she finally turns the ship around. But there's 10 or so more ships blown out in the sky between that happening. So the audience already saw that as an option. However, the film didn't move that direction. And I don't mean that to say hindsight 2020. I mean that to say didn't move at the pace of the audience, because we already came to the conclusion that she wasn't going to survive. So why did it take so long for her to do something heroic? The journey for Poe was a good one. It took a while. It's kind of an obvious one that's happened in other movies, but it's necessary, especially in light of the passing of Carrie Fisher. There were certain scenes with Carrie Fisher where she was just excellent, and I really, really enjoyed. seeing her. Luke, Mark Hamill did an excellent job with his role, and there was a lot more range. I could see, the 20-year-old, Luke Skywalker at times, and where he kind of left off. So that was nice. Overall, I know we have to see this movie again. I want to see the movie again. I just don't know how I feel about it. I understand expanding the universe. I understand expanding our take on what Star Wars is, tying things into prequels and the original, and forging our way with our new characters, which they left us with only new characters for the next movie. Really curious how that's going to go. I don't know. I really don't know. This is one of those ones that frame by frame I could go through and not necessarily pick apart, but pick out things where I was cheering and so excited, and things where I'm not. I love Poe Dameron having all the skills. When he's close up on the dreadnought, on the other ship, and he's trying to get that last cannon taken out, and BB-8 doing all the things, just trying the different pieces. That's funny Star Wars. They didn't take that too far. They almost took it too far, but they didn't take it too far, trying to get him to plug it up. And you've never known what happens when the droids go into the ships to try to repair it. You always saw R2's little extension arm come out, but that was really great to see. And then finally using BB-8's head to short circuit it. I do have one concern about canon. My understanding of canon is that if it happens in the book and it's not directly contradicted on the screen, then the book is also canon. Well, in the book The Force Awakens, Poe and Rey meet, and there might be a little bit of sparks in their eyes then. They make it seem like they've never met until episode 8. And maybe there's meant to be sparks there or not, or chemistry there. We don't have a lot of time to develop that when you already have the chemistry with Finn, and then they kind of built that some more in this movie, but then they throw in Rose, which she just didn't seem like a great fit altogether. She seemed like she was inspired and still had all the, I was a downtrodden kid too, and I believe in what we're really doing for the rebellion and all of this. However, definitely didn't see a love interest kind of thing out of her. Good character, but not enough to break up the big three and get inserted into that same category. It's like Princess Leia not hooking up with Han and hooking up with, random character in the background, on Hoth Planet. Where was Snap Wexley at? He wasn't in this movie at all. Brian Gunberger, whatever his name is. Anyways, that's just my initial take. I just wanted to kind of get all of that out after I just saw the movie. I'm probably just going to post this in its entirety. I will do a better review maybe after I see it again, maybe take some notes, cover some specifics, and go over things like that. So if you've seen the movie, tell me what you think. If you're looking forward to seeing the movie and you're watching this, you shouldn't, because, well, I didn't say everything. There are some spoilers. I really, really like the interaction between Kylo and General Hux, because there's like a sibling rivalry going on there with violence. So when Hux is about to shoot Kylo when he's down, that's hilarious. And then when Kylo just lets him know how far and beyond he is above General Hux, but yet how he's still a brat and a child at the same time. It was really interesting to see the dichotomy and the importance there of those two characters and their relationship, and how they're going to run the First Order now, or the New Order, or whatever Kylo might rename it, as Supreme Leader. Thank you for checking out the Swagga Review. We know you have a choice when it comes to getting your videos and content. We appreciate you checking out the channel. We hope you hit that subscribe button, and that you give us another shot with another video review or how-to article that we might produce. And we thank you for coming to check out Swagga Reviews, and we'll be seeing you again real soon.